Hi artists, and welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and I've been making art for my entire life. I truly believe that anyone can be an artist. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to draw a cat. I will put the supply list up here and down below in the bio, so if you want to follow along, grab your supplies and let's get started. Today I am going to be drawing a realistic cat from a photograph. If you are just starting out, proportions can be pretty difficult, so I recommend starting out with a grid. I use a ruler and mark every inch. You can make the squares any size you want, but I find an inch to be perfect. Here's the photo of the cat I'm using. Once I find my reference, I then use an app or website to overlay a grid onto my reference photo. I'm using 9x12 paper today, so I set up the grid on the cat to follow these exact measurements. Using the grid allows for better proportions and can make the drawing process seem less overwhelming. Just start with one square at a time, take your time, and draw the contours of the cat as you see them in each square. We're just going to make a basic outline and put the eyes and nose and any other features that we need to know where they are in. And then once we have those features done, we can get to the next step. So I'm going to speed this up. But if there's any questions about how to use a grid, I can make a video dedicated to them in the future. Alright, now that we have our outline ready, let's move on to color blocking. I am using Prismacolor color pencils today, but any color pencils will work. Color pencils typically take many layers to get that crisp and clean look, so we're just going to start with a simple base layer. It is important to remember that with color pencils, you don't want to push too hard. It is better to make sure the pencils are sharpened very fine and to use light pressure when applying a layer. If you press too hard on your first layer, you'll end up burnishing the color pencil and you won't be able to add any other layers later. So instead of doing that, I use the Prismacolor blender pen over top my base, and that gives it a smooth, even coverage while still being workable. I am going to go in with black, white, and an orange shade on the face. Now once I finish the face, I really like to get the eyes going. The eyes are the most important part of realistic drawing, so I want to make sure those are good before I move on to any of the other steps. For the eyes, I like to start by putting down the outline first. It's pretty dark in the photo, so I'm using a dark gray. Over top of that, I'm layering a pink color as well as brown to get the shade just right. Using a very sharp black pencil, I went around the inside to get that depth in there. Now I'm going to color block the iris, pupil, and highlight. Once that layer is done, I go over the whole eye with the blender pen to get a nice glossy, even base. From there, I just add very light layers of white and green to vary the color and get the shading to look pretty accurate. For the highlights in the eye, I like to use a white gel pen. The gel pen sits nicely over the color pencil and really makes the highlights pop. When drawing fur, I use a very sharp color pencil and make strokes in the direction the fur is going. I'm going to start with this white section by the nose, and so I'm going to be making upward strokes. It's important to look at your reference photo and see what direction the fur is going in. When making white fur, I also like to use a white gel pen as the pen's a lot brighter and adds more varying shades and makes the drawing look more complete. For this white section on the left side of the face, I didn't want to use the blender pen because although I try to clean out my blender pen in between, I wanted to make sure that there was not any residual black because I wanted this to be very white. So instead, I put some Vaseline on it. Vaseline actually breaks down the color pencil and works fairly similarly to the blender pen, so if you don't have a blender pen, you can use that instead. However, I do need to let it dry, so I will be back in about 20 minutes. Wow, that dried really nicely, so I'm just going to keep on drying the fur now. I'm going to speed this up because overall this took about 4 hours start to finish. I like to use a few different shades when drying fur that are fairly similar in order to get it to look more realistic. Like the white fur is not just completely white. So I used a light gray in that section as well as the white gel pen that was a little bit brighter. In the orange section, I used a light brown, an orange, and a soft gray. When making fur, it's so important to make sure that your color pencils are sharpened or the strokes will be too thick. The faces of cats are typically short hair, so we're using short strokes here. The fur of the body is a lot longer, so when we get to the body, we're going to be using about 2 to 3 inch strokes instead of about the half an inch that we're using on the face. What I really like about drawing fur is that it's a lot quicker than drawing something smooth. Once that base layer is done, we just add some strokes of varying colors and we're able to get that fur texture pretty quickly. When drawing smoother textures like a watermelon, you'd have to add 5 to 6 layers and it takes a lot longer. This makes fur a nice starting place if you're a beginner, because for me, it takes about half the time to draw fur than it does to draw something smooth. For ears, there's often a light color with longer hairs over top. So again, I just make sure that my white color pencil is very sharp and I start from the bottom of the hair and push the stroke outward. Once I have that finished, I just touch up the sides and make sure that everything is blended and looks pretty accurate to the photograph. While I'm working on the face, let's talk about colored pencils. I use the Prismacolor Premier color pencils and I absolutely love them. I have used so many other color pencils in the past and they didn't blend nearly as well, and working with materials that aren't as good quality can be really frustrating. It is so important to have supplies that work with you and not against you. I have the 150 Prismacolor pack. That was around $90, but they do have smaller sets for around $20 if you're just starting out and don't want to spend a lot of money. You can even head on into an art supply store and pick up the individual colors you want for around $2 a pencil. Alright, now we're on to the next step. This one is my favorite. It's using the white gel pen for the whiskers and the stray hairs. This is what really pulls the drawing together and gives it that touch of realism. This is why I like using this toned gray paper. It shows these whisker highlights much more than on standard white paper and makes the drawing look more professional overall. Again, you just start at the base of the hair and draw a quick line outward. It doesn't have to be perfectly exact either. It will still look like the animal you're going for even if one of your whiskers ends up too high. So I just start at the base and draw a fast stroke as it looks more natural, even if it doesn't end up in the exact same spot as it does on my reference photo. Now that the whiskers are done, we have conquered the face and eyes and all of the hardest parts. So we're over that climb and it's all downhill and smooth sailing. So we're going to start the body the same way as the face and color block each section. After that color blocking is all done, we start on the fur once again. If you look closely, I have been erasing the pencil lines as I go along. Sometimes, especially under light sections like the white, the pencil can show through, and once the color pencil is over top it, it does not erase. You can even erase your lines after you have your basic sketch done, but I like to erase it later on as I go, just in case I miss something and I need to use those reference lines again. The fur on the body is a lot longer and fluffier, so we're going to use bigger, longer strokes, and it's going to go a lot faster than the face did. Another important thing to note is that you want to make sure each colored section of fur blends into the section next to it. The way this works is making strokes of one color into the next colored section. So the black section will have lines of white at the base of them to show the fur blending rather than having harsh lines that don't interact with one another. Alright, so here's the finished drawing. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe below, and I will see you all next time. Bye!